this is all right?
Yes, that's why they got that.
I never heard that. Oh, okay. Thank you. So I'll just nod at you when it's time for you to play. All right?
So Will be here June and August. I'll be here July.
So Will's going to be here just in a few weeks. Right after he graduates.
Yeah, I told him I would preach the following Sunday. I think like turning around that quick.
I went to the first
this week. This is your weekly reminder to please silence all your electronics as you come in today. If your phone rings, I will come answer it. Reminder to check the back of the bulletin for the calendar and that we have paper calendars for the month out at the welcome table. This service and all services are live streamed. Mahjong this week is Monday at 2 p.m. Honor would like you to know that the Community Commons returns on Wednesday, May 27th for a hurricane season pregame party. This interactive event will explore the lighter side of hurricane season with activities, information, and snacks. Team Jeopardy is canceled, but a few decks of blue Q&A cards will be available to take home or to play at the event, so email honor, dee@ucob.org to reserve a deck for pickup or mailing. Cathay has let me know that it's the kickoff for the time honoring Little Free Library. So it's Little Free Library kickoff day today. Our wonderful library team has a table set up in the lanai. Books are free. So if there's anything you see out there, please feel free to grab it. And last but not least, Rummy Cube is canceled this week, sorry.
We light our chalice this morning in honor of the upcoming Pride Month. And we remember that there are some doors people open with a flourish, and some doors people open with trembling hands. And there are some doors people cannot open at all until they hear the voices of others on the other side saying, "Come on out. We're here. We've been waiting for you." Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to UCOB, our beloved Unitarian Universalist congregation of Venice. This morning, our service is called I'm Coming Out. And yes, some of us are already hearing Diana Ross in our heads. You're welcome. Today we're talking about pride. Not just pride as a parade, not just pride as rainbows and music and celebration, though those things matter too. We're talking about pride as a lifeline. Because pride is not only for the people who are already able to march down the street waving a flag, pride is also for the person who is standing quietly on the sidewalk, wondering if they will ever be brave enough to step forward. It is for the teenager watching from a distance. It is for the elder who never got to live openly. It is for the person who has learned to hide parts of themselves in order to be safe, loved, employed, included, or simply left in peace. Pride says to them, "You are not alone." Pride says, "There's nothing wrong with you." Pride says, "When you are ready, there is a community here with open arms." And that message matters deeply because so many people have been taught that they must choose between being loved and being honest, between being safe and being whole, between belonging and being themselves. Here in this congregation, we believe in a wider welcome. We believe that every person carries worth and dignity. We believe that love is not made smaller by being shared more freely. And we believe that no one should have to earn their place in the human family by hiding the truth of who they are. So this morning, whether you are loud and proud, quietly questioning, lovingly allied, still healing, still hiding, or simply here with an open heart, welcome. May this be a morning of courage, tenderness, joy, and hope. May it remind us that every rainbow seen in public may become a doorway for someone still waiting in private. We are so glad you are here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is so good to see your faces here today and to see some bright, shiny colors out there. I love it. Pride is about a lot of things. It's about a lot of truth, and there are some truths that whisper before we're ever able to say them out loud in the world. There's some truths we just know in our bones, and we keep them locked away because the world hasn't always been kind to those who live honestly and openly. And then sometimes a door opens. Maybe not all at once like a bolt out of the blue with rainbows coming down from heaven. Sometimes it opens slowly, speaking to one trusted person. Sometimes it opens when a person says, "This is who I am. This is who I have always been, and I am worth loving." I like the title for our service today because it's a joyful title. And joy has always been part of liberation. But beneath all the joy and the silliness and the dancing and the glitters, there's a serious part too. Pride is more than just watching the wild parades and enjoying every minute of it. Pride is also for that person who's watching from behind a curtain, scared to death to admit that they want to be out there too. Pride's for every adult who has spent years making themselves feel smaller. It's for every kid who thinks there's something wrong with them. It's for every person who has been told by family or church or law or culture that their body and their identity is something to be ashamed of. And pride looks that right in the face, throws a handful of glitter at it and says, nope. You are perfect just the way you are. You're not a mistake. And our faith answers back to that too. We say that every person has worth and dignity. Not someday, not after conversion, not after explanation, not after approval. Now, already, just the way they are. So I hope this hour can be a place of welcome for every heart here, a place of courage for anyone who's been waiting to step out and say, you know, me too. That's me. A place of tenderness for anyone who doesn't feel ready or who will never feel ready. A place where love is larger than fear and joy is stronger than shame, and where all of us are invited to come out more fully into whoever we are. So come and let us worship here together. Please rise in body or spirit as you're willing and able. Join in singing our opening hymn, number 1053, How Could Anyone? And we're going to sing it through twice. Service when we do our offering, and as always we do it with a joke because giving shouldn't hurt. A UU minister had gotten a little tired of a wealthy middle-aged member of the congregation who never pledged or gave any money at all. Finance tried to talk to her and she just giggled and said, "My family says I'm their princess and princesses don't pay for things." Fundraising and membership tried kindly too, but she took a long sip of her expensive coffee and giggled and said, "My family says I am their princess, and princesses don't have to pay for anything." The minister was fed up by her cavalier attitude and decided that he would talk to her himself. He reminded her of the church programs she attended, the services she loved, the choir where she sang. Nothing worked. She just giggled and pushed her designer sunglasses on her nose and said, "My family says I'm their princess, and princesses don't pay for things." The minister lost it. Pushing his rainbow bracelet firmly up on his arm, he said, "Well, my family says I'm a queen, so I outrank you. Now pay up." The morning offering will now be given and gratefully received. thank you so much, not just for these gifts, but for everything you do, for the life and the work of this community. You are so appreciated. It's as a community of human beings, human hands and human hearts, that we come together here to struggle with life's sorrows and celebrate life's joys. So if you have something to share, please raise a hand, and Mike or Tony, one of them, will bring you a microphone. Please try to keep it to under a minute, and please make sure you bring the mic all the way up to your mouth.
I'm Jean. I'm sitting here thinking of 1972, and a door was opened for me, and I was actually, throughout my life, very grateful. I was living in San Francisco, a nice girl from Iowa, where we don't have any person who's gay. And I was in a situation where I met someone who's an aide to a patient who I was seeing in their home for speech therapy. And Harold was absolutely wonderful. He was very clear, very out. He shared his life with me. And so over the ensuing months that I would be visiting the patient, the person I really went to visit was Harold.
Good morning. I am Hector Malavan. This is my husband, Louis. We're celebrating today our 13th wedding anniversary. I was very lucky because I worked with the VA at the time, and the VA is very forward-thinking when it comes to gay, lesbian, transgender services. Anyway, it was President Obama went along, said yes, passed the law, and then next day the VA said, okay, as long as you get married, we don't care what gender you are, whether you will get the benefits. So we got married pretty fast. So it was important to us because he opened up a world where we were able to financially do better because he could be under my health insurance, like many people who get married. So anyway, so I just want to say what a wonderful thing that happened, and I hope to continue fighting for that right to continue for the younger generation. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ana Dralios and I'm the chair of the Social Justice Committee. And I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I have to because it wasn't announced. Today at 11:30, we're having a League of Women Voters representative talking about voting and what we can do to protect our voting. Also, this Wednesday, we're having a Justice Social at Hotel Venice. We're going to have an amazing program for you, so please be there. It starts at 4:30. And last but not least, this Saturday, we're having the documentary called Mr. Nobody Against Putin. And it won an Academy Award, and it's a lesson to all of us. We are supposedly nobodies, and we have no power, but that's not true. We do. Thank you. Sorry.
It's my turn. We got word that Amy suggested we wear colorful clothes today, and that's all it took. If you're a thrifter, there is a place just over the bridge into St. Petersburg that's an HIV clinic and a thrift shop. I'm not sure which side of the company they came from, but we got these outfits yesterday, and it's lots of fun. I am what I call, or I learned to call, an LGBTQ plus ally. Straight as an arrow, both of us, but I'm very supportive, and I have been for 60-some years when I first became aware of the gay community. So that's my lecture.
I taught at alternative high school for 21 years, and this is for all of my students. This is a great day for everybody.
a celebration, an upcoming celebration, to let you all know. This coming Friday, right here at 11 a.m., this lovely lady and I are going to take part in a commitment ceremony. Overseen by Reverend Amy, and anyone who would like to is welcome to attend, of course. And I love this lady very much.
And as Paul said, everyone is welcome to come. It's going to be very short and sweet, but we'd love to see anybody that's available. Thank you.
I wanted to let people know that our own Jean Barlow has not been feeling well. She's been in the hospital with pneumonia again. She's watching us, so she's home now. Drew actually took her home yesterday. She's not feeling as well as she should. So I would like everyone to turn around at the screen, wave, and send kisses to Jean, because we love her very much, and we know that she loves us.
Yeah, just to underscore what Anna said, this forthcoming social justice, where we are celebrating justice, we're rolling out 3 initiatives designed to get out voter turnout. One is by the Sea Alliance, another is by League of Women Voters, and another will be working with Reverend Amy and the democracy officer from Sarasota Sister Schools. And how do you celebrate voting? And how do you, as Reverend Amy said, vote your values? So that's what we're going to roll out. The other announcement is, I don't know if you saw, but there is method in the madness of the Pope. Some say he's mad, some say he's really, really wise. He appointed the diocesan bishop here in Venice, which is 250,000 Catholics. The person is an immigrant advocate. He's the son of an immigrant. Let's celebrate that.
Hi, I'm Donna Jewett. I am the proud mother of my son, who just came out at the age of 49 to be trans. And I also have many, many stepchildren and grandchildren who are lesbian, non-binary, and the whole bit, so I'm just waving my flag.
May the love of this community hold all who need love and concern, and may the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May those who are grieving be comforted, and those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
Our first reading is Why Do We Celebrate LGBTQ+ Pride Month by Katerina for Youth in Progress. On June 28, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn of New York City, things turned violent after a few LGBTQ+ people were arrested on questionable charges, handcuffed, and shoved into police cars. The LGBTQ+ community was fed up with being targeted by the police, and seeing these arrests incited rioting that spilled over into the neighboring streets and lasted for several days. Marsha P. Johnson was an African-American transgender woman and revolutionary LGBTQ+ rights activist. She is rumored to have thrown the first brick that ignited the Stonewall riots of 1969. Marcia was an outspoken advocate for trans women of color, and she co-founded the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, or STAR, alongside her friend, Sylvia Rivera. STAR provided services and shelter to homeless LGBTQ+ people throughout New York City, Chicago, California, and England in the early 1970s. Marcia's major contributions were often overlooked as the movement started shifting toward the leadership of white cisgender men and women. But it's important to recognize just how important, influential, and incredible Marcia's activism was. We wouldn't be where we are today without her. 1 year from when Marcia P. Johnson is said to have thrown the first brick at Stonewall, the first Pride Parade took place on its anniversary. And the next day, Pride events and marches took place on the West Coast. Our meditation is from A Protest and a Party by Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. People sometimes ask, is Pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are? With these words in mind, please join me for a moment of silent thought, meditation, or prayer. Origins and Significance of Pride Month by LPI, California. The roots of Pride Month trace back to a pivotal moment in LGBTQ+ history, the Stonewall Uprising. In the early hours of June 28, 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in New York City's Greenwich Village. Raids on LGBTQ+ establishments were common at the time, but on this particular night, the patrons decided to resist. The raid sparked a series of spontaneous protests and clashes with law enforcement, lasting several days. This defiance against systemic oppression and discrimination is often credited with igniting the modern LGBTQ+ rights movement. In the wake of the Stonewall Uprising, LGBTQ+ activists mobilized to harness the momentum. 1 year later, on June 28, 1970, the first gay pride marches were held in New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago to commemorate the anniversary of the Stonewall riots. These marches were not only acts of remembrance, but also powerful statements of visibility and solidarity. The New York March, known then as the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, saw thousands of participants. They walked from Greenwich Village to Central Park, chanting slogans and carrying signs that demanded equal rights. The atmosphere was both jubilant and defiant, setting the tone for future Pride celebrations. From these early marches, Pride has grown into a global phenomenon. What began as a few localized demonstrations has expanded into a months-long celebration marked by parades, festivals, educational events, and more. Cities around the world now host Pride events, each tailored to their unique communities, but unified in their mission to celebrate LGBTQ+ culture and advocate for rights and acceptance. The rainbow flag, designed by artist Gilbert Baker in 1978, has become an enduring symbol of pride. Each color of the flag has its own significance. Red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for harmony, and purple for spirit. This flag waves proudly during Pride Month, representing diversity and unity within the LGBTQ+ community. Today, Pride Month serves multiple purposes. It's a celebration of identity and community, a remembrance of those who have fought and suffered for LGBTQ+ rights, and a call to action against ongoing injustices. While significant progress has been made, the fight for equality is far from over. Issues such as transgender rights, discrimination, and violence against LGBTQ+ individuals still require urgent attention and action. Pride also offers a platform for education and awareness. Many organizations and advocates use this time to highlight the diverse experiences within the LGBTQ+ community and to promote understanding and acceptance among the broader public. Workshops, panels, and media campaigns during Pride Month provide valuable insights into the challenges and triumphs faced by LGBTQ+ people. Pride Month is more than just a celebration. It's a powerful reminder of the resilience and strength of the LGBTQ+ community. It honors the legacy of activists who paved the way for the rights many enjoy today. and galvanizes current and future generations to continue the fight for equality and justice. In a world where many still face persecution and discrimination for their sexual orientation or gender identity, Pride Month stands as a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring human spirit. It's a call to remember the past, celebrate the present, and work toward a future where everyone can live openly and authentically without fear. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join us in singing number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
It's hard to talk about the Stonewall riots in today's cultural context, because it was different then. I was born before Stonewall, as were many of you, or most of you. We forget that it was illegal to be gay or lesbian or bisexual back then in most places in the United States. And if it wasn't expressly illegal, it fell under moral turpitude clauses. And what moral turpitude means is that if you get caught being gay or lesbian or bisexual, you are a bad person. In Kentucky, where I was born, apartments were deed restricted with moral turpitude clauses, no homosexuals here. That continued through my college education. They were still restricted. Jobs were restricted by moral turpitude clauses. You could not be a teacher. You could not be a school counselor. When Stonewall happened, the gay and lesbian bars were getting raided. Most of those bars were owned by the mob. The police would tip them off, show up, grab a bunch of people while everybody else ran out the back door, beat them up just a little bit, sometimes take their money, and then let them go, and the bar would open right back up with the alcohol they'd hidden up the street because they had been tipped off. On the night of the Stonewall riot, they were not tipped off. There was no warning. The police showed up at this dim bar. There were no exterior windows. They were all covered with board. That is normal and was normal in a lot of gay bars up until the 90s. Because you didn't want somebody throwing a brick or a Molotov cocktail through the window. And the police showed up and started grabbing people. Stormy DeLavery was what was called then a stone butch. Today we might call her a drag king. She was there in full male drag, which was illegal. It was illegal if you did not have at least 3 objects of clothing on you that met the same gender category as the genitals you were wearing. And since she was in full male drag, she was arrested. Except what they forgot is the term stone butch came with a lot of muscles. She proceeded to whomp the heck out of 4 police officers. And when 6 of them finally grabbed her and dragged her to the paddy wagon, she stood up, shook them off, and said, "Why don't you guys do something?" at the gay male crowd who was clustered around. The fight started there. A few minutes later, a bunch of young, 15, 16, 19, gay kids showed up. They were homeless kids that used to sleep on Christopher Street. And they brought with them Molotov cocktails. By then, there were 6 police officers in the bar, still chasing a few people around. Everybody else was outside the bar. So the kids started to throw the cocktails in. The bar caught. Not bad, but it caught. Scared the heck out of the cops. And then Marcia P. Johnson arrived with Zazu Nova and Jackie Hormona and a brick. And she threw it. And war was raged. The fighting went on all night. At one point, I want you to visualize this, at one point, a bunch of drag queens climbed up on a nearby wall and began a kick line, flipping off the police with every kick, while a bunch of the young gay street kids pulled up a parking meter, rammed in the door, and were yelling things in at them so they'd come out and see the kick line. It went on until Wednesday night from Saturday. The riots went on. And on Wednesday, one witness said, and it went down in history in the newspaper, "The word is out, Christopher Street shall be liberated. The fags have had it with oppression." That was one of the boldest statements by a gay man. The boldest reclaimings by a gay man that we'd seen yet. But it didn't get better overnight. A year later, there was a pride parade to commemorate what had happened. It was gorgeous. Several hundred people, and then over 1,000 people showed up. They were scared to death. 2 of the organizers said, "It may be only us, but we're going to walk." There were no events planned at the end because they didn't think they'd survive to make it till the end. They thought they'd get grabbed. They started with about 120 people. By the time they got to the park, they had over 2,000 because people started joining them. And when they got there, they laughed and they sang because they didn't know what else to do. They hadn't expected to get that far. So by the time I came into the world, it was changing. But for kids like me, we grew up in a world where it was not okay to be gay. There may have been pride in Chicago and Los Angeles and San Francisco, but it didn't reach Omaha or Kentucky or Indiana. If it wasn't there, they would have thought you were insane. The first pride parade in Cincinnati was in 1973. There were 46 people there. The second one was a few years later, and then it stopped because it was illegal in Cincinnati, Ohio to be gay. So as a child growing up, now you think about yourself, when you were growing up, if you're straight, you saw yourself in the television you watched, in the stories you heard, fairy stories about the prince and the princess. When television came along, I Love Lucy, Bewitched, a boy and a girl. It was everywhere. Gay kids saw nobody that was like them. I can remember asking my father as a child, "Dad, I want to play baseball." Now, I had been playing baseball for the last 2 years, I just hadn't told him. And he looked at me like I had grown 2 heads, and he said, "Well, girls can't play baseball. You'll get hurt." I didn't mention to him the kid I cracked in the head the week before that with the line drive. But I could play slow pitch softball, because that's what girls could play. We won our division at that 10, 11, 12-year-old age group. We won because most of us have been playing baseball with the boys for the last 2 years. But we won. We got to go to a little pizza party, and while we're sitting there eating, in came the local women's fast pitch team. And they had short hair, most of them. They didn't have any makeup on that I spotted. And in my little 12-year-old heart, I thought, I have found my people. And I remember one of the girls glancing over at me, because I'm sure I looked like an absolute moron. Just watching. She looked at me and went, it's the first time in my life I had seen people who might be like me. Might. But there weren't any more, not anywhere. But kids grow up. My first year in Louisville, as a college student, joined the Gay Lesbian Student Union. That's all we were. There was no plus yet. Gay, lesbian. We got invited to do a welcome booth with all the other booths so that students could find us. Beautiful paper hung on them, signs. They were lovely. There were 6 of us standing in it. There were booths all around us. Every other student organization. Young man with an improvised flamethrower set fire to the booth with us in it. And we, of course, found reason to complain to the school about nearly being toasted. And he was told not to do that again and suspended for 1 game. Louisville at the time was dangerous for LGBTQ people because the mayor was running on an anti-gay platform, which meant they were raiding the bars. First time I went to a bar, I got told, don't worry about your fake ID. Worry that you've got your gym shoes laced. And I said, why? They said, because they'll probably raid again tonight, and when they do, run. And they did. If you've never seen 60 people trying to get out the back entrance of a dark bar without hurting anyone, while police officers are behind you with billy clubs, swinging, you've never been in a gay bar in the 80s. We made it out. And then we ran. Because that's what it meant to go out clubbing when you were gay in the 80s. Don't wear heels. By then, we had heard all kinds of things about pride. We knew about pride by then. In June, we went to the march in Louisville, and the police showed up in full riot gear with gloves on because they didn't want to touch us. Everybody stayed on the parade route because you got told one step out, you're going to jail. On October 11th that year, we went to Washington, D.C. At that point, AIDS was at its worst. And many of us had been active in sewing together panels for the AIDS quilt, the memorial quilt. So we went to sew it together in its entirety for the first time. Over 1,200 panels on the day we left, 2,000 by the day we got there. We put those together and stood there in shock, surrounded by gay and lesbian people and allies, horrified at what our country's political environment had allowed to happen. No research for AIDS awareness or healing. But we put it together. As we stood there, people began to read the names of those who had passed. We walked up to stand by the little stage where they were reading. And after a while, I saw a man come out in full Army uniform, bird colonel. He started reading, and unlike everybody else who read for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, he kept reading and reading and reading on this blistering hot day. You could see the sweat rolling down this man's face, and a few times he started to stagger, but he kept reading. And I asked somebody if they knew what the deal was. They said his son came to him 2 months ago and said, "Daddy, I have AIDS." And he threw him out. And his boy died a month later. He's committed to reading for 2 hours. And he stood there and he did. And we stood there and cried with him. It was the first time that day that I saw a star, a big name, Whoopi Goldberg, walk past us holding a rainbow flag. She marched with us that day. When we were marching, there were kids everywhere, and for the first time they were seeing gay people who didn't look like criminals. We looked like we were having fun. Some of us went on the steps of the Supreme Court to protest AIDS awareness, the need for AIDS awareness and AIDS treatment. When the police showed up, not only did they have on riot gear, they had on elbow-length yellow gloves and splash shields. And they grabbed us by our feet and brought us down the stone steps. We got out for a $50 ticket. And then we all went to the hospital to get patched up, because we had just gone down 27 stone steps held up by our feet. And then we marched again. And then we went home and we did it again. And the marches kept spreading to Omaha and Iowa and Indiana. And we needed to keep marching because AIDS was getting worse. For those of you who weren't involved with the community at the time, you may not know, but ambulances would often refuse to pick up an AIDS patient. And funeral homes would refuse to take the body. So groups of us, along with ACT UP, started to organize. When an AIDS patient would start to get ill, would hemorrhage, would be sick, would need to go to a hospital, rather than waste time calling for an ambulance that wouldn't come, those of us who had station wagons would come with a shower curtain on the back seat and 2 other scared to death kids, and we'd load up that patient. We had no protective gear. We had basic gloves that you could buy in a grocery store. When we'd get to the hospital, most hospitals wouldn't come out to help you. the nurses would put up their hands and walk away. In Cincinnati, at the University of Cincinnati, Dr. Susan Montauk came out the door herself, pushing a stretcher alone. And she helped us get those kids on the stretchers. And she made sure they were treated with dignity, because she was a Unitarian Universalist from St. John's in Cincinnati. And she came out over and over and over. And she worked with those patients when no one else would. And we made it through the 80s. We made it through the 90s. But we kept hanging on to pride. Because for every scared kid that thought there was no one like them, for every gay, lesbian, queer person who thought they were alone, that no one would come if something bad happened, we were there. And then we got to dance and sing and throw glitter. Because it's not just about the revolution. Pride is about more than that. Pride is about making sure that everybody is seen. About making sure that the next generation of kids don't have to wait 30 years to see people like them kissing on a screen. It was 1991 before the first lesbian kiss made it on TV. 2000 for the males. Pride commemorates the Stonewall riots. Absolutely. God bless Miss Marsha P. and her brick. But it's for every little girl who thinks she's weird because she wants to play baseball, and every little boy who wants to paint his nails and dance. It's for kids who don't want to do gender the way they get told they should, whether they're gay or straight. It's for every adult who thinks nobody sees them or that they're not okay. For every construction worker who loves another man. For every mom who wishes she could tell someone she likes women. And for every straight person who just loves everybody and wants everybody to have a marvelous life. Pride is for you too. For all of us, pride is there, and you are welcome to come and be fabulous. And I hope you do, year after year after year. Amen. We put out this flame, but we carry its sparkle into the world, and remember that pride is not a party for people who've already arrived. It's a beacon for those finding the road, and a promise made in glitter and protest and music and joy. You are beloved. You are not broken. You, all of you, belong. We are going to sing We Shall Overcome in just a minute, and we're doing that because at the March on Washington, that is what we sang as we walked. It matters. For everyone's liberation, it matters. So please rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing number 169, We Shall Overcome.
Oh,
and glitter and sparkle and joy. And remember, closets are no place for people, and pride is for us all. Peace, ashe, and may it be so.